I'm gonna throw my neck out today, having fun with the music, but my appendix ain't bursting, so it's okay. Oh, my bad. Hey, everybody, what's going on? I'm Charlie. It's Contractor's Corner. And you know what? It's Tuesday, September 5th. Happy birthday to my oldest nephew, Roy George Gilliga. 5. Just saying. Just throwing it out there because he'll never watch my show, but whatever. It's out there. He can't say I didn't say happy birthday to that man. He's like, I don't know. I think he's like 50 today or something like that. I don't know. Oh, God, it's been. He was born when I was 13. Math is hard, and I'm not going to do it. There you go. You guys figure it out. I'll be 52 this month. Whatever. You know what? I'm just going to ruin this. Here, Jeff, get in here and save me.
It's 65.
He's 65?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If he's 65 and he was born when I was 13, that makes me
13.
stop it. More math.
You
What is
said you
with
were
you?
52.
Yeah, I'm 52. He was
52
born when I
plus-
was 13.
52 plus 13 is 65.
I was 13 when he was born.
Oh, you were 13.
What is wrong with you, man? See, math is hard, and Jeff is now being removed. We're done with him because Jeff can't do math today. And I'm just kidding. I can't throw you out of here. I don't want to carry the show today all by myself, man. But you know
I
what?
could just, I've got hours on my clock. I
You
could just
stop
keep
it.
on going.
No, sir.
It would be
No.
better for me if I just kept on going.
You know what? You know what? Look. Let's do this. Craig Hutchinson was first today. It was at 12:45. Like the dude was sitting there waiting. He's like waiting for the announce to go up. He's like, "Bam! First, suckers! I got it." And then Jonah's like, came in right after. He's like, "Damn, Craig! I tried to be first today." And I just like how I make up people's voices and stuff. And then so yeah,
These people sound absolutely nothing like that in real life.
that's the fun part about it. But it's much more amusing in my head the way that I hear it. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Because, Craig is like, "Hey, bruh, what's going on?" And doesn't sound anything like that at all. Just going to throw it out there. Bear Hunter is all up in this place too. Let's see. Hamey was here, and he was glad to say not first again, but he is now sleeping. So Hamey is watching this on the replay by the time he sees this. So, Hamey, I actually want to dip into something. I think $6,000 sounds high for a clutch, but I don't know on these new trucks with these auto shifts. $6,000 sounds like a lot. I would shop around and maybe ask around and see what kind of prices you could get out there. But I wanted to get that out there. And hey, any of you who are watching this on the replay, anything that we say, or if you get questions or comments or anything like that during the thing, make sure you go down below, click on comment, leave us a comment, drop a question. This guy right there, Jeff, and I'm Charlie, in case you missed it. Just throwing it out there because sometimes we're confused. And but if you got a question, we'll try and get answers to you. If you got a comment and you just want to tell us to do something different and maybe we could be, I don't know, more better, we'll try. Or we'll fight with you. I brought it up. I brought fighting. Me and Jeff and
Everybody was kung fu fighting.
Whatever. Jeff Reese is here. Greg Helmick is here, and we're gonna be bringing them in just a minute. We just want to talk about this other stuff real quick. Who else is here? Jonah Green, I said. Bear Hunter. Why am I always driving during the show? Because I don't know. You like to buy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Matt
He tried to say it was because he liked money, but
right?
I'm going to disagree with him. He likes stuff.
Yeah, exactly. He likes
That's what
stuff.
he likes.
He doesn't like money. It's the stuff that money gets. Just saying. Look at this. LB the trucker. Been waiting all day for this. What's up, everyone? He said. Jim Wall. What's happening? Oh, look at this. Trucker's joke. I don't remember seeing that name before, but okay. Well, hell, with medical insurance, just make sure my nurse is a tall blonde. I dig it, man. You know what's funny? Is I like little tiny brunettes, apparently, because that's what I married. She's like this tall. I'm just saying, whatever.
We were actually debating. I had dinner with the family yesterday because I was traveling through Salt Lake.
Right.
And we were trying to figure out which of our children is the same height as Rosie.
And
it turned into And it turned into this big debate.
Nice. Wimpy McBoat's in here. He said, "Does Swift have a Western 11 regional lanes? They used to.
You? Yeah, I
I
can't
know they
remember what
used
they
to.
call it.
Yeah, I'm sure that's something you could reach out to." Look, and he's cracking on Craig. Craig says nothing, but I'm first.
Okay.
Oh, let's see who else we
All
got.
right.
Life on 18 Wheels, Heroes of the Road. Look, Craig says other things. He said good evening. Oh, burn. Mike
Yeah,
Henderson.
but he's laughing, so it's not. I don't know, man.
Exactly. Cameron Barnes. Blackbeard. 6,800 for my clutch. Research the flywheel and rear main seal. Wow, really? Gosh, that just sounds like so much. But there you go. Hey, me. So there's your answer. I think maybe you're in a fair zone.
Well, if they're doing all of that, I guess. I don't know. That
Yeah.
just because when I looked it up, I was looking for the parts online, and the clutch kit to rebuild a clutch is anywhere from $900 to $1,600, depending on who's trying to scam you today. Because you know how that online stuff is.
Right.
Um, man, I just can't. Is it really that labor intensive?
Look, man, I know they got to drop the tranny, and it's a lot of work, and but good lord, that just sounds high.
I mean, I know you're sleeping right now, Hammy, but when you watch it, I'm interested to know, and you could get with us on the Facebooks or whatever. Um, is that the Swift price to have it done, or is that a dealership that you're going to stroke a check for?
He actually
Because
said it. He said the Swift shop told him that.
the Swift shop told him that. Okay, because that's one of those items. I go back and forth on whether or not I'm going to use a Swift shop, Charlie.
Yeah.
And this is one of those where something that's going to cost that much, I'm going to call on road and I'm going to get with you
Right.
and see what I can do about that price.
So wait, he did not say a Swift shop. He just said shop. Says my clutch is slipping.
Right.
Had a hard time. Neutral automatic. Has a Detroit. They quoted me $6,000 for the clutch and labor. Is that too much? So there you go. I don't know what shop he's talking with, but you know what? Let's do this other thing real quick so we can jump into medical insurance and all the offerings that are coming from there. I'm just gonna, you know what? We're gonna throw the fuel surcharge up along the bottom. Let me do that here. So those of you contracted to Swift, there's your fuel surcharge this week. You'll notice West Coast went up to 0.14.
Yeah, I think 0.15 is the highest I've ever seen it.
See,
so
I don't.
Another tick and we're at record highs again.
Man, that's crazy to me. And let me do this real quick. Let's
Well,
talk
you know what's going to happen though, Charlie, is while you're in Phoenix, it's going to go down to 10 cents again.
Right. Oh, of
Just
course.
because you're there.
As soon as I need a load out of that zone where they would give me all that extra money, it's going to drop to like 6 cents. Because why not? You know what I mean? That's what they do. Hey, let's throw this up here and we'll take a look at this. So
Yay!
The US average went up 0.017 this week, up from 4.475, jumped up to 4.492. And the West Coast Pad 5, which is the other magical one, is 5.390. That's up 0.088. The disparity between those is 0.899, if I recall right. And that's why we got that 14-cent fuel surcharge at if you're a Swift contractor. But these are the magical numbers you guys need to be looking at, whether you're with Swift or not. Or in fact, if you're not with Swift and you're out there running those broker loads and load boards and all that kind of stuff, here's your negotiation. You guys need to be looking at these numbers. I mean, Jeff says it all the time. If you're not using these numbers to figure out, if let's say you're running up in the New England area, hey, look, those prices went up 3.5 cents this week.
Yep, you build that into your bids.
You know what I'm saying? So, but we did have a couple drop.
Yeah.
East Coast Pad 1 went down a whole 0.001. The lower
down
Atlantic
is down, man.
Yeah. Hey, look, Pad 1C went down 0.010, and Midwest Pad 2 went down 0.002.
So I want to point out again, like I did last week, folks. So we're still 59.2 cents cheaper than we were this time last year.
Right.
So, those of you that have been in the game for a while, we're nowhere near the worst we've seen as far as fuel prices go. And
Exactly.
if you're leased to a carrier like Swift or um, who else, Charlie? Let's drop some names. Forward Air has a surcharge. Panther's
Panther.
got a surcharge. JB Hunt's got a surcharge. Somewhere in your contract is a table that lists what your
There's
surcharge
something.
is, depending on what the national average diesel fuel price is. Make sure you're looking at that.
Right.
Because the big wigs at Swift, we kind of chuckle about it. They call it the fuel protection plan,
Right.
and we're all like, "Tell me you don't know anything about our business without telling you don't unless you don't know anything about our business."
Words matter, but it's all right.
Yeah, whatever. They
Excuse me.
tried to they tried to make it into a
That's
gimmick,
terrible.
and I get it, but it's a
Right.
fuel surcharge.
It's marketing. Let's be
And
real.
for those of you that may or may not get you talk about carriers like Landstar, Charlie. We talk about them from time to time,
Right.
and you may or may not get a surcharge on those loads. You got to
Right.
look at the rate con on each load to see if you're getting a surcharge, and if you're not, make sure that you're talking to that broker dude and say, hey, let's look at a little lean there. Fuel went up this week. See if you
Right.
can't squeeze a few more pennies out of them. I
Exactly.
mean, what's the worst they could say? No.
Yeah.
Why not try? That's all I'm saying.
Right. So with that out of the way, let's rattle Jeff Reese and Greg Helmick's cages here, and we'll be like, bam, bring it in, Jeff.
Hold on. We've got like a legit question. I don't know how to handle this.
Where do you find the exact EIA report? I can tell you. Give me 1 second and let me minimize the window. Jeff Reese, you just sit there and look pretty, sir. I know it's not difficult for you, but man, you're a good-looking guy. I say that comfortably.
Whatever, dude.
Oh,
Charlie, now that you've met my whole family, you know that Jeff looks a lot like my oldest son.
Well,
there are similarities there. It's weird. Now that you mention it,
Yes.
you're creeping me out, man. So let me copy this, and I will put a link in. The
So
chat
while
for you.
he's doing that, how's things going, Jeff?
busy.
Yeah.
So we're just rocking and rolling over here, coming off of the holiday and just getting back in the saddle. So I don't know about y'all, but it was, I think several people took a little bit of time, spent some time with family, just took a minute to catch their breath, and now they're getting back out there and getting after it.
Right?
Yeah.
Look, I survived the hurricane. Dude, we got flooding right up to the back of my back door, right up to the threshold, and it stopped dead at the threshold. The deepest part on my property here at this house was about 2 foot deep. We had historical high levels of water. It's funny. A buddy of mine that lives right behind me, he's like, man, my stepfather built this house in 59. And so he's been here, since he was born in the 60s. And it's funny because he's like, we were out there watching this little flood water come over. There's a swamp just down below a couple of houses down the street from us. And it's basically a floodway, right? And we're watching the water start to rise on one side as it's coming in from the bay. And we're like, oh man, I'm like, I don't know, Bruce, looks pretty bad. I don't know, we may need to get the heck out of here, get up on the roofs and stuff. And he's like, nah, don't worry about it. You see this tree right here? And he pointed to a tree in the yard that's behind his house. He's like, back in 69 was the historical high water that we've ever had. It's never gone past that tree. 30 minutes later, it's at the tree and rushing towards us.
Oh,
right?
golly.
And all of a sudden now he's like, uh-oh. Yeah. And then it got to that house, and on their shallowest spot, like they had a pickup truck sitting down on the lower end of their property, and those folks are up in Canada right now, which is unfortunate for them because the hood of their truck was in the water. like to the top of the grill. There was
Oh,
water
God.
in their motor. I don't know what that does to a motor. Sitting there, it's not running. I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. And it sat there for a couple hours. Here's the crazy part. Had that storm stayed the speed that most of these hurricanes move through, they're usually around 12, 13, 14 miles an hour as they move through the Gulf. And, they just transfer. This thing picked that speed, got up to 18 miles an hour. It was like, I'm in a hurry. I got to go places. I'm going to go mess with Georgia because it's fun. They've never had a hurricane in Valdosta. I'm going to show them something. And so it picked up speed and ran up there. And had it stayed, I was doing a little bit of math, and I think that had it stayed down there at that 13 mile an hour mark, the high tide and the surge would have clobbered us simultaneously. Instead, they were 2 hours apart. The high tide came in 3 hours after the surge. And I think it would have hammered us, and I would have been on my roof with my grandkids talking about, can I go swimming? You know what I mean? Because that would have been great for them. They're like, let's swim in the front yard. It's fun, Grandpa. It'll be awesome. And I'm like, get up here. There's gators floating around. I don't know what to do. Anyhow, hey, so LB the Trucker, there's the website to get to the EIA site. You can just go right there. They've got a little thing where you can actually sign up and get it sent to your email every week. And you'll get it Monday at about 5 p.m. Eastern if it's not a holiday, because like today, we got it today. But there you go. So you know what? I apologize. You know what? Would you like to introduce Greg? Let's do it. While you introduce him, I'm going to throw him in and just make him really, he's going to be like, what happened? Here I am.
Yeah.
There he is.
There he is. So, Greg and his team is actually a new part of our community. So, as I always say, ES Advantage is not a fuel card. We're a community.
Right.
We bring vendors together and to offer up, discounted and fairly priced products and services to small fleet owners and owner operators. And so I know Greg and his team have been working with our COO and the president of our company for a while, and they came up with some offerings, and we put together a marketplace, and it's called eshealthplans.com. We've got that on our mobile app right now, and Greg is really kind of the face of that on their side. So Greg, I'll let you have the microphone from here and introduce yourself, and we can go from there.
Sure. Thank you, Jeff. Everybody out there, I came on a little early. I had the pleasure to meet Jeff and Charley for the first time. I just didn't realize they were this bashful.
You're right. He got to see our knucklehead stuff right before. I'm like, all right, Jeff, you got to do this.
Insurance can be boring, and Charley made a comment about how good looking Jeff was. And I'm a former driver. I'll be 66 in November, but when I was a Ute, age 21 to 27, I drove for Fifi, FFE.
Hey, that's where I started.
Really?
04.
Yeah. Drove LTL, became a city driver out of Chicago. I just can't help the comment, Charley, you said to Jeff is a good looking man, and I just had a major flashback. You can say that as a driver, just don't call me your good buddy, right?
Right, that's right. I'm not going there. I got
okay.
you.
That's
no good buddies.
People know that underscore.
Hey, they people do what you want to do.
I think we just dated ourselves by knowing what that means.
Did we? Okay.
I haven't heard that in a long time.
Yeah, I started FFE in 2004. I had an amazing trainer. He was a crazy, crusty old 30-year truck driver. Loved that guy. Taught me the world. Arthur Jane was his name, and I know that he since passed, but man, that guy taught me so much.
Yeah, it was a great experience. They say insurance is boring, but with this group, it's never been boring.
Nice.
So part of it is after 35 years in the business, I'm on a mission to help drivers, especially being a former one, because there's just a lot of, I'll call it crap out there for drivers. Everybody wants to sell them something. Our focus is try to educate and look at each driver's situation to help them. Even if they have a plan. I was on the phone with a driver from North Carolina. Him and his wife had a major medical plan. They were getting some credits. It was again, a major medical plan, and he was paying $450 a month. He said, if I could save $50 a month, Greg, I would switch.
Right.
And I said, so here's what's good. Now, if I would have been that salesman for $50, he had medications, he had health risk, he would have saved $50 and been out thousands and thousands of dollars.
Right.
So I told him to stay where you're at. Larry was his name, and he said, so how do you make any money? Drivers, professional drivers, what you see is what you get. And he was curious, and I said, well, I make my money by advising you, and hopefully, I said, on a scale of 1 to 10, what kind of job did I do? He said, well, you were a 10. I said, then so you'll refer me to somebody.
Right.
That's how I'm going to make. So I'm very fortunate to be attached to ES. Here at SACID, I've been here 17 years. That stands for Smart, Simple Insurance Development. We build
Nice.
insurance products. I won't bore you to death. We go to insurance carriers and we build products. We use their paper. We own a reinsurance company, so we have skin in the game. So think of me as 15, 16 different insurance companies under one roof.
Right.
That if you bought all of them, it's list build, meaning it's one payment, and you always deal with me. I've got 60 people behind me that make me, not today. These are actually the Bears and the Packers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I only see like 14 or something like that.
But they play this Sunday, and I'm in Wisconsin. I'm a suffering Bears fan. My wife's a Packer fan, but this could be my year.
Oh man, he just offended half our audience, man.
Right? You just lost half the market. It's over right there.
I said suffering Bear fans.
Oh, Greg.
I'm kidding. So
that's great.
So I'm thrilled to work with ES. We say no to a lot of people. I had days, if not weeks, of conversations of what we can do for the drivers. And instead of the first question of how much can we make off the drivers, I was listening to you folks with the fuel card, and if you're going to head upstate and it's 3 cents more a gallon, maybe you fill up before you go up there, or you build it into your load. That's invaluable. Absolutely. It's lateral. We do the same thing. Is I just talk to drivers and fleet owners in this day and age to attract and retain drivers. It costs anywhere between $3,000 and I think $10,000 minimum to hire and fire somebody. So if you can offer some benefits, the fleet owners can offer, they can pay for some of it, all of it, none of it.
Right.
So our plans are very flexible to integrate with that fleet owner or driver very easily. A driver buys something, I'm their agent. They have my cell number. They can schedule a call.
Nice.
I tell them, like any marriage, I said, are you married? Have you ever had an argument? Yes, we have had arguments before. We may have a situation, but with my team, we'll get it figured out. We're transparent and we'll make it work.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me throw this up there just so people can see it. I mean, the way to get a hold of Greg is right there, 833-907-3033. And you can schedule a call just like you said. It's that simple. I mean, you go to eshealthplans.com. Let me throw that in the link here and put that on there we go. Just hide Jeff completely. We don't want to see the other Morton, the other face. I'm just saying that guy with his magic silver hair. Anyhow, but if you go there, eshealthplans.com, you'll come up on this website. And I like the website. We actually we spoke to Reese about this a little while ago, and a couple weeks back when he was first dropping the news about it, and we kind of scrolled through here and had kind of just a basic discussion about what there is, and but more importantly, we have you here now, Greg. So maybe you could dip in a little deeper as to what each of these offerings are, or maybe just a quick overview of what we're talking about.
First of all, drivers, the platform's built for the individual. So you can go there and quote, and if you click on an accident plan and you go through it and you do a quote, there are a lot of links in there to learn about the product, what it does after you start your quote. So the platform is built for the consumer. You can actually go through and self-complete it. If you go through it and do a quote, I see this, I'll probably send you an email
Okay.
to call you and talk about it. The biggest issues when we go back to those products, Charlie, those index cards up front. If you notice, there's a lot of ancillary. There's accident.
Right.
People will buy accident insurance for a lot of reasons, especially a healthy driver. Major medical. The topic I hear about major medical is it's expensive, and it is. And if you do purchase it and you're healthy, and you got an $8,000 out of pocket, you're going to spend $8,000 a year before you use it. So kind of a combination. I talked about the gentleman from North Carolina. He needed his major medical plan,
Right.
but he didn't have a dental plan. Okay. He did have telemedicine, and I'll get to that in a second. But on the opposite end, I talked to a driver and his wife, young family, and they were paying $1,200 a month for major medical.
Oof.
Never can meet their deductible, and they feel like they're wasting their money. That this something's got to give in this economy.
Mm-hmm.
So it comes down to is it more important to have that major medical, or if you're healthy, would you combine it with an accident, a dental, or maybe a indemnity plan, like a core health, we call it.
Right.
It takes care of the little spikes in life. So our accident, dental, vision, we've got life insurance that's guaranteed issue, no health questions. Telehealth plans, we're very fortunate that ES, being a great partner, they're paying for the first 2 months of it.
Right.
The drivers are part of an 11 million person network, so I have the best pricing out there.
Wow.
If you call a telemedicine company, maybe it's $49, and then or if you belong to one, maybe it's $19 a month, but you pay $20 or $30 each time you call. There's a code.
Right.
Hours are unlimited. After the first 2 months, it's $8.99 for a single, $9.99 for a family. And this is a big deal when you're on the road. If the driver stops at urgent care, it's $300 to $500.
Yep.
You're getting a call back from a doctor that you could talk to or FaceTime to in 11 minutes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It's not heart attack related. I'm having a heart attack.
Right.
They're going to get you to the ER. But for the little spikes in life, and along with our prescription discount card, you could drive into the back of a Walmart and go into the pharmacy and get a discount on a prescription. So those two combinations work well to avoid going to urgent care and paying $300 to $500.
Right.
And again, ES pays for the first 2 months on that.
Yeah, I really like the whole telehealth thing. So quick background on me. My entire adult life, I've never paid for medical insurance because of the military. I was broken, so they covered me for life. The wife and I are both covered. Granted, it's the VA, and whatever. But I've never had to pay for medical insurance. So I am so removed and out of the thought process of shopping for medical insurance. But then we got, Jeff Morton, who's got, himself, his wife, and like 37 kids that he's made. Because, he's one of those guys who's just making babies all over the place. Yeah. And, so, I mean, that's been a thing. I mean, that's a real struggle for a lot of these guys. And a lot of these guys are like, man, I don't have it. But on the telehealth thing, I've been using that a lot more recently with the VA stuff. And it's great because, I can get an appointment now, mind you, this will tell you the big difference between what you guys are offering versus what I'm dealing with the VA. I'm happy that I can get them to set me up a video meeting within a couple of days. Right. And you're talking about an 11-minute turnaround.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even know how to deal with that. Like my brain just doesn't even process that.
It works well. Where people, if they get frustrated, it's just understanding the rules of engagement is, I'd ask any driver, if you go into urgent care before you pay the $300, what are they going to have you do? They're going to give you a clipboard and fill out information. So when you activate this, it's in the email. You can do it online or you make a phone call, and you just go through with our telehealth provider. Are you allergic to penicillin? And you go into this database, So whatever state you're in, you're going to talk to a doctor from that state.
Oh wow.
They pull up
Okay.
your file. I mean, it's relatively 24/7. You get a call from a doctors that are online, ready to take care of this,
Wow.
and they prescribe. I'll tell a funny story. We had it. My son had strep throat. Like you folks, this doctor had a personality, like you folks do.
Yeah.
The doctor said, "Can you turn your light on your phone, and can you get it further down his throat?" I'll try. So I had my iPhone, talk about unsanitary, but he's family.
Right.
And I had that thing halfway down his throat. And I said, doctor, I've got insurance on the phone, but if my son swallows it, I don't think I'm covered. But he was able to see those white spots on his tonsils.
Wow.
And we just had to go in. This was actually during COVID, too.
Oh,
I mean,
geez.
imagine
Wow.
during COVID to go sit in the ER where people have COVID or
Right.
And the last thing you want to do, even if it isn't COVID, is go sit in another room that are sick with people that are sick.
Right.
So some people are uncomfortable FaceTiming. It's early in the morning. You got bed hair. The doctors don't care. They're there to help you, or you can simply talk to them. He had to see his throat. I had to get the iPhone down there, and he prescribed. So it works well.
Yeah, the VA says I have to dress appropriately for my Video Connect appointments. I figure all they see is my T-shirt, so whatever else is going on, they don't need to know. I dig it. I dig it.
That's why I won't stand up right now. I hear you,
Right.
Charlie.
See?
I'm with you. What a team.
Right.
Oh boy.
Yeah, but everything that I've seen, I have not called because I'm still up in the air as to what I got going on here in the near future with a whole bunch of things. But I know that we've actually had some of our members call and speak to you. I've actually gotten some really good reviews on you, Greg. I've had a couple of people said, "Man, I talked to this Greg guy, and that guy knows some stuff, man. Like he knows stuff." And it's funny because we have trucking insurance through a lot of our guys have trucking insurance through Seabright, and our guy there is Tony Dennis, and that guy Jeff Morton and I learned way too much about truck insurance that we never wanted to learn, but we learned it because that man, he's a talker. He tells you about stuff, and we're hearing the same thing about you, Greg, that we dig it.
Whatever they have, every situation is different. If they have
Right.
a good plan, I tell them to stay, and then I ask them, as a trusted, if I'm a trusted source, call me with this kind of stuff. I'll give you. I sleep really good at night. I don't have to remember what I say.
And that right there, that simple little thing is, you get a lot of insurance folks that they're car salesmen on one of those buy here, pay here lots, right? I mean, it just seems to be that way, and they're like, "Oh, we got the greatest thing ever," and they're like, "I wouldn't buy this crap."
Yeah. Or if they do buy it, they cancel it, and now this is why the industry has a bad
Right.
name because of other people behind us that have just sold them something. The conversation usually goes, "Well, what's the next step, Greg?"
Right.
Or, we even review things. If we're undecided, I had a driver that had a limited med plan, which is for the little spikes. He sent me the policy.
Nice.
Ours just so happened to be better and it was less expensive. I showed him the difference and he said, "Why wouldn't I switch?" I go, "Well, unless this insurance guy's married to your sister, you probably would switch."
Right.
Yeah.
Look, and even then, I'm like, I don't know, man. Do I really like you that much?
How much do I like that guy?
Yeah,
That's
right.
right. That's
Look, when it comes to business, I'm
Yeah.
kind of not a nice person with my family. I'm like, look, you work for me right now, and you're not my wife. You better get behind that wheel, woman, and start getting some miles down the road. And then she hits me with a stick, but it's cool.
What's really weird is when you have your dad working for you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Or worse, we have Jeff's dad working for us, and I'm like, but that's Jeff's dad. Yes, sir. I don't know why. And he's like, but Dad, you need to get this done. I'm like, right? I don't know. It's a weird dynamic sometimes. But yeah, I mean,
Life comes full circle, I guess.
right.
So that's what they say.
But there's
So
a
one of
lot
the
of cool
thing-
stuff here.
One of the things about this, so Greg, we have a thing we say, stop paying for a job and start owning your business. And this is part of that, owning your
Right.
business. You know, we're contractors. When you get to a certain level, like me and Charlie are at, you're an LLC S corp. I'm actually paying myself on a W-2. You know, my situation is a little different. I have some tribal things that I can tap into and things like that. So insurance is not on my radar right now, but providing myself with benefits, that's part of owning that business. You can run it through payroll, and our friend at Trucker CFO, he's going to tell you how to do that, by the way, guys. Run it through payroll. It's tax deductible if you do it that way. And you need to provide for your family, not just the paycheck.
Good point, Jeff. That triggers, the more I hear remarks, meaning drivers take really good care of their trucks. They have to have the liability, occupational accident. But if a driver gets hurt, you're not driving it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to take care of yourself. One of our favorite sayings is our plans are less than a penny a mile, because I've heard too many drivers say, I've got a major medical plan and I'm paying, I won't use the F word, but I'm paying effing just about 25 cents a mile, and that ain't
Right.
going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a
especially
big
with the
pain point.
margins being what they are these days.
Right.
I mean, they're absolutely choosing not to have medical coverage. And I mean, Lord help you. Let's say you're not in the truck and you twist your ankle, both ankles, I don't know, knock your head, need stitches. Lord help you. I mean, how the hell are you going to pay for that? You're out of, let's say something happened. Okay, great example. I spent 7 days in the hospital on the 12th. What are you going to do? 7 days in the hospital. And I mean, had I not had the VA, I can't even imagine what that bill would look like. I just can't imagine it.
Fleet owners, if there's fleet owners on the call, there are no participation requirements. I had a fleet owner down in Chicago 2 weeks ago, said, Greg, I want to pick the plans. I'm going to deduct it from their check, and I'm only going to pay 20% of the premium. Or otherwise, I'm not going to work with you.
Right.
And John, it's nice to meet you too. I mean, that was kind of
Right.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you. He goes, nobody can do that. I said, well, we can do that as long as the drivers know. And I ended up talking to a lot of the drivers, and they said, Stan, he's only paying 20%. You think you can get him up to 30 or 30? I go, well, let's just see what happens. It's 20% is better than nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's a flexible plan that he was having issues attracting and retaining, and he finally broke down. He picked the benefit package, which ended up being about $92 a month for 3 different plans, and he's going to pay 20% of it. And we signed up 38 drivers.
And just so you guys that are at least on at Swift know, what he's talking about per month is what it'll cost you per week for Swift insurance. Minimum.
I'd want to know what that is, though,
that's-
Jeff. I'd want to know what that Swift insurance is to compare apples to apples.
It's not fantastic from what I've heard. Again, I don't know enough about it, but it's not even remotely fantastic. And I'm not trying to crack on Swift or anybody else.
They are changing plans here next year. And yet, so since we're talking about Swift a little bit, another thing that people need to be aware of that have opted into the Swift offering, they are no longer going to payroll deduct that as of January 1st.
Oh, I can tell you why.
Because people don't pay it.
Well, every week they go in arrears. Anyone that comes up with a short settlement week. One of the problems they were having is guys were getting canceled that week because their payment wasn't made that week.
Yep. So
Can you imagine?
So one
I
of the
mean-
one of the challenges in leasing on with big carriers, Greg, is to attract drivers. We literally can't not compete with the mega carriers on benefits.
Right.
It's
I
tough.
get it.
You know, to get the level of plan that they are offering, you know, they might pay half of like a Kaiser for a guy that's a company driver. I can't afford that.
Right.
That takes a big hit. I'm not making any money at that point. If I'm paying you enough to where you want to drive for me and then paying for your insurance on top of that, I'm not making any money. And so that's a really big issue for us guys that want to grow a small fleet. How do you attract drivers? You can't afford to offer them benefits.
Right.
You know,
Well, like Mike Henderson here, and I remember when he said he set this up, and I was like all kinds of happy for him. He's like, I finally got insurance this year after 7 years with no insurance. My problem is I make over 120K a year, so the marketplace treats me like a billionaire. I'm still paying $1,200 a month for a PPO, and you know, I'm gonna throw this at Jeff Reese because Jeff Reese and ES are the reason that Mike Henderson was able to save enough on a monthly basis to get out and actually pay for medical insurance from what he saved on the fuel card.
mhm.
That's why we're here. That's
freaking
it,
phenomenal
right there.
to me.
That's
You
why
know
we're
what I'm
here.
saying?
Absolutely.
And then we got Bear Hunter, and you know, he says he's paying $450 a month. I don't know. Is that high? Is that low? I don't know what that is. I truly don't know. And
Well, and
you
so I'm going to go off a little bit on this because you knew this was coming, Charlie.
know,
So Greg, the worst thing to happen to me was the ACA. I went from being able to take care of my family on my own.
Yeah.
You know, I had a plan back in the day. You know, it was a HSA account, and you know, I could put, you know how those work. And my monthly premium for my entire family, and it was decent coverage. You know, $9,000 a year out of pocket. And with a family like mine, you know, kids and everything like that, we blew through that. But we used the HSA to cover that. My premium went from $190 a month to $900 a month, and we were finally priced out of the market. And my coverage was not as good as my old pre-Obamacare coverage.
Yeah.
So then, of course, you know, so I have some benefits through the Cherokee tribe and things like that help me out and my kids out. My wife is about as cracker as they come, so we have to pay for her. But but yeah, I mean, if it, you know, basically I went from being a man that 100% took care of my family to having to go hat in hand to the tribe saying, "Help me out, brothers," because of the Affordable Care Act, which I call the Non-Affordable Care Act, by the way.
Jeff called you a
Just so
cracker,
people know.
Donna. Just saying.
She knows.
Wasn't this guy?
It was 10K out of pocket. Okay, so I was off by 1,000, but still, you know, and we were, man, it was almost depressing to me to be put in that situation. And all these years later, we still haven't figured out, we still haven't really cracked the code on health insurance.
Right.
At least I don't feel like we have.
No, we haven't.
So I
can tell you that I feel very fortunate that I, you know, destroyed myself in the military and that they covered my health for the rest of my life. Because I you know what I mean? This healthcare stuff freaks me out when guys call me and they're like, "Hey man, should I get this insurance and this insurance?" And I'm like, you should call Jeff Morton.
so now they're going to call me and I'm going to tell them to call Greg.
Oh, I'm just going to be like, call Greg. just call Greg. Greg's going to be our guy. I mean, it's just, you know, and I just don't know what else to say because quite honestly, I don't want to learn all of this stuff, right? I don't want to learn the intricacies of the deep dive. Look, I just don't. I'm probably gonna because it'll happen because of the way things go, and it's gonna fry my brain again. But you know what I mean? I'm gonna be like, you need to call Greg because I'm not
You're
smart.
getting me going.
Right. See now I've got my wife going. Donna Morton is my wife, Greg, and she's posted 1, 2, 3, 4 messages about the ACA now, and that's my bad. We're kind of on the same page on that one. But you know, this is what
You're
we
back.
love about ES success, the whole organization, Jeff Reese, is that you know you've been able to introduce us to people that can help us.
Not
Exactly
just
that.
that want to sell us stuff.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a long drawn out process when it comes to us determining who we're going to partner with and who we're going to bring into the community. So there's, you know, ethically we got to line up. You know, even from the customer's perspective, how we view the customer, that's got to line up. You know, everybody's in business to make money, but there's a way to make money, and that the right way. And it's really, if you help people, the money will come. So, you know, you don't have to try to sell somebody something they don't need. All you got to do is find the right people to work with, and you know, it takes care of itself.
You
Really
better stop
does.
talking logic, Jeff Reese, because what I want to do is I want to charge everybody $92,000 for my widget up front that I know is going to fail them in 3 weeks, and absolutely offer a no refund policy because I don't even want to talk to them after the day they buy it. Right? And that's just that's business these days. It seems like, but you know, and I joke about it, but that's one of the things that we like about, you know, the relationship we've built with ES, you know, over a couple of years now. And the way that you guys vet people is amazing for us, because Jeff and I want to vet people the same way. I mean, you saw firsthand how long it took for us to work everything out with Tony Dennis and
Yes.
Seabright. And we had people who were like, oh, screw it, I found this insurance program. Get this, it's super cheap and you don't have to have Swift's insurance now. And we're like, oh, that's great. Can we get a contact number? Can we get them to send us, you know, the entire policy breakdown and get someone to actually explain it all to us and show us where they're better and why the lower price isn't going to screw us down the road? You know, what's their customer service like? What's the people like? And we know the way that you guys vet people, so you save us a lot of time. But we destroyed Tony. Well, Tony destroyed us, because that was a total package deal that they built from the ground up for us, you know, and God, man. And so I am seriously excited about what is coming with the eshealthplans.com, because, you know, like we were saying, I mean, you can just break it down into what you need. And like Greg was saying, you know, okay, you don't need major medical, don't get major medical. You want just to telehealth plan? Bam, there it is. You know, it's that a la carte thing, right? It's kind of the same type of deal we got with Seabright with our trucking insurance. And so that's what gets us excited about this. And it's hard to say something like, I'm excited about health insurance. But I've been excited about this show for several weeks since we were talking about doing it. And because I don't know firsthand, but I know from the secondhand, from the stories that people have told us about how difficult it is and how they've had to make a choice between having health care for themselves or their spouse, or worse, I don't have any health insurance for my kids because I flat out can't afford the family plan.
Yeah.
Oh, that just hurts me, man. I mean, seriously, I'm like, yeah, God, you know what if they had COVID? You know, what if they have pneumonia or the flu or, you know, whatever? They bust their leg and they're like, well, I got 2 sticks out back and a couple stretches of rope. I'm just gonna tie them up and be like, look, get on, Limpy, it'll be fine. Rub some
Walk
dirt
off.
in it.
Yeah. Oh, walk it off.
Yeah, you know. But you know, I mean, but from what I've seen and like I said, what I've heard, because I haven't experienced it firsthand, but what I've heard is dealing with you, Greg, is actually been a pleasure for people, educational, and just not a hard sell. It's like, hey man, let's talk about what you have. And you know, I would assume that someone like me is like, I ain't got nothing. You know,
Charlie, I'd like to take all the credit, but with ES, the God's honest truth is, this is why we attach ourselves to a brand like ES that is already liked. So when I talk to someone with health insurance, which is a real pain point,
Right.
I mean,
Right.
we're paying too much. I mean, it is. I can't describe health insurance other than we're going the wrong direction. At
Right.
least I have a client that likes ES. So once I'm attached to that, I can at least talk to them and advise them without a lot of anger.
Just have a
Right.
conversation, right?
Yeah.
And you know, here's the options.
Yeah.
There you
You
go
know,
again, Charlie.
I know. I can't help it, man. It's communication, building relationships, and
That's right.
communicating in a non emotional manner. Let's just talk facts. Let's talk numbers. Let's talk about what the product is. How can it help me? How is this going to benefit myself, my spouse, my family, you know, what have you? And that's what we're getting back from several people who have actually made the call to speak to you, Greg. And so for that, I want to say thank you for all those people and for us, because you know we're out here, we're trying to reach as many drivers and contractors and independents as we can, and we're saying, hey, there's a better way. You know, this fuel card, this trucking insurance, this medical coverage, you know, I mean, all these things and like ES Advantage and the folks at ES, we're like, you know, it's about community. It's not about the hard single sell. You know, if this is something that's good for you, let's help you get that. Let's help move towards that positive direction. And it goes along with that, you know, stop paying for a job, own your business. You know, it's that control thing.
My dad used to say nobody does anything by themselves.
Right.
You have to be part of a trusted community.
And I agree. Without the community and Jeff and I and Reese as well, and everyone at ES, we're constantly using that community word. And a lot of people think, oh, it's a buzzword. No, it's legit. Like, we want the community. The community as a whole does better. We all do better, right? Mm-hmm. If I do great, I mean, nobody else cares. But if I can do okay and share what I did, that, you know, because that's a lot of what Morton and I do, is we share our failures, right? And we share our successes,
especially yours.
Yeah, right. Because I got a lot of failures. Trust me, we did some doozies over the years, but you know, if I can share my story in the community and say, hey, I did this way, and this is the outcome. You might not want to do it that way. Just saying, because it hurt painfully.
Absolutely.
So, can you tell us a little more about like the dental and the vision and things like that? I mean, what are folks looking at when they're, you know, let's say they're happy with their major medical?
Yeah, then we keep them there. You know, some drivers will send me their policy. You know, we look at that to compare. If you're that interested to send it to me, I'm that interested to look at it.
Nice.
We sell a lot of dental. I mean, I'm quoting family members, but my grandma said, if your teeth aren't healthy, you're not healthy.
It's a thing.
Plans. We're almost in every state for our dental. I think, other than one or two. I think we're even in New York. You know, plans start, I think, at $42 a month, and you get $1,000 or $1,500 of annual max benefit. The issues I run into is I get the driver or somebody calls anybody. I've got to get partials. My teeth are falling out, and it's the saying of, do you need homeowners insurance because your house is on fire?
Right.
It's that relative, and they say, well, geez, if I buy this, how come I can't get the partials? And my story is, most dental plans have a 12-month wait.
Right.
You got to get that premium before you have the claim, because if you pay $42 for a couple of months and we pay a couple of grand and you leave, we're out of business.
Right.
It's over. Our plans are a 6-month wait instead of a 12. So at least the pain of waiting is half. We're with Emeritus. Again, we build these plans, and we use an in-network Emeritus facility because they want a new member to come in. So they give discounts. You can go anywhere you want to go. And the analogy I use for a dentist that doesn't use Emeritus is they already have their staff, they already have their clients, and they can charge full price.
Right.
This is America. This is,
Yeah.
Capitalism at its best. But you're better off going in network. And I help drivers out. Who's your dentist? I can look it up. They're in network. They're not in network, but this one's a mile away. Would you use this one?
Right.
So it becomes a preference. So the dental is a very good plan. We sell a lot of dental insurance nationwide. A lot of vision plans. Again, the
Lord knows I
accident
need vision.
Actually, our dental plan comes with a vision and a hearing. The vision is $100 of benefit per year, and the driver would simply go in, have an eye test done, buy regular lenses. They don't fall under if you buy a pair of Elvis custom,
Right.
lenses.
Oh man.
Yeah, I know it's not going to be covered. You just keep the receipt, send it in to me, and Emeritus reimburse you up to $100.
Wow.
So that
Every
works
little
well.
bit.
Yeah, the vision is $75. Doesn't cover hearing aids, but it will cover a hearing test. So there are 3 different nice little benefits inside our dental plan for $42 to $45 a month.
Right. No, and that's tremendous because one of the things that I did look at was dental coverage because the VA doesn't cover my dental, right? And look, those of you who have met me, not one left in my face.
Mm-hmm. It's freaky because you can't tell that he doesn't normally wear his dentures,
right? But
until
here's
you're right
the
up
thing.
next to you, you're like, wait, where's your teeth?
I came out of we came out of pocket like 30 grand.
Yeah.
30 grand to get my mouth back into a healthy thing. I was in an accident back in 93 and I landed on my head doing 130 miles an hour. And so I put cracks in everything, every bit down, right? Apparently there was a thing that happened. And so I cracked everything. And then, a few years later, well, it was in 93 and around 2000 is when I actually had everything removed and just said to hell with it, because it was getting to the point I couldn't eat a banana without breaking a tooth. It was just that bad, right? And so people like to crack on me. Oh, you toothless bastard. I'm like, whatever. I did mine for a crazy reason. And I'm just saying I survived. Whatever. What'd you do? Whatever. Anyhow, but yeah. So but trying to get, and this is the funny part, is the VA is like, we didn't do that. We don't care about your face. And I'm like, well, damn, and it was like 30 grand. I want to say it was right around 30 grand. I had an implant put in the bottom, so my little bottom denture snaps on there, and here's my problem. I keep breaking dentures, so I just gave up on them. I'm like, whatever, man. I just whatever, and I still eat whatever the hell I want. I ate corn on the cob. People are like, how the hell you do that, man? You just don't mind it. I make it happen. People are amazed by it. They're like, how?
That go viral, man.
Right?
So Jeff, so guys that are working with ES Success, through their Path Ownership program, do you guys do payroll or rather settlement deduct for this sort of stuff over there, or are they still paying out of pocket like we are?
If they're opting into this, I believe that they're paying out.
Okay.
The pocket.
You put him on the spot, Morton. What the hell, man?
It's an important question.
Like, oh crap!
Yeah,
it's an important question. Guys need to be prepared for what needs to happen, because that's one of the things with the Seabright we found is all of a sudden these guys aren't getting settlement deduct anymore, and poor Mary at Seabright's got to make phone calls on the 1st and the 15th.
Right.
And it's just people are not used to having to stroke a check for services.
Right.
We're so used to when you're leased to a big carrier and you're taking advantage of all of their stuff, whether it's good for you or not. They're so used to that settlement deduct, and that's a change. That's a big shift for a lot of guys. Say, oh, that's right, I've got to whip out the plastic and make a phone call.
We're not used to adulting.
Yeah, At Swift, we call it relying on Papa Swift.
Yep.
And we're trying to get people to not do that so much.
Right.
So, Bear Hunter said specifically, does dental cover implants for dentures?
For full
Yeah.
dentures.
Implants and full dentures. Yeah, that's
Oh, yeah.
I get that question a lot, and that goes back to the answer is yes. After 6 months, there's a cap on it, but like Charlie, you mentioned 30 grand. That gets back to the
Oh
original.
God.
How much premium do we have to collect to pay a $30,000 claim?
Right.
Yep.
You get X amount of dollars, but on a positive note, I mean, coming to me out of the gate to buy your plan and saying in 2 weeks I'm going in for implants, dentures.
Right.
What you would get is if you're part of the Emeritus Network, you'll get that discount through that dentist. So if you went in there without the plan, you're going to pay whatever they want to bill you.
Right.
So that would be an option to at least look through the network to see who would give you the best discount on those dentures. The people that come to me that have a dental plan, and this is a nice clause we have in the policy, that if you've had a dental plan within the last 30 days and you send me your ID card that shows where your plan has been in force, we keep a copy of that and then we waive the 6-month waiting period, because what that tells us is you've had dental insurance for a while here and you've had it within the last 30 days. And if you're leaving your employer or leaving somewhere you don't want it anymore for whatever reason, why should you be punished to wait 6 months?
Right.
So a lot of plans don't have that. They want you to wait 6 months. They want you to wait 12, actually.
Right.
We waive it all together. But again, if you had a plan and you wanted dentures and implants, then you would get X, depending on the plan you bought, and plans vary by state, you would get X amount of dollars credit towards that.
And look, I get it, man. You know what I mean? And mind you, that 20 or 30 grand, whatever the hell it was, that was after we negotiated. They were starting like crazy. And so I had this thing. I actually shopped around for a couple of different people to do it because look, I'm going to throw it out there. My teeth were so bad, you would have thought I was a tweaker. You'd have thought I was an absolute meth fiend because they were just so bad. It was to the point where I no longer smiled. I didn't want to talk to people. If I laughed, I was that guy. Right? Now y'all see me. I don't even care anymore. I'm just big gummy laugh. I don't even care anymore. I'm just like, whatever, man. I'm to the point now where I just don't care. But but at the same time, I mean, I get where people worry about those things. And so I went to a couple of dentists, and I'm telling you, they just made me feel like a dirtbag, right? They're like, oh, one of those guys, right? And I finally found one, and that's one of this guy was super expensive. He was one of the most expensive dentists in the area. But the service and the people just made you feel comfortable. And so, I mean, you got to shop around for that stuff too. Just throwing it out there, not trying to share too much of my little stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's a thing. And what I'm hearing is that there are different dentists within the network. And you can look up, if you got a favorite, hopefully they're on the list and maybe you can set up. Or maybe you can find someone that's in the network that you could build a relationship with. Things like that. And I'm assuming, and you could correct me, Greg, is that the major medical and as well as that would fall into the same type of thing where you could look up your doctor, see if they fall in the network, and if not, see what's available in your area.
Yes, absolutely. You're going to save the most money when you go in network,
right?
And not to get boring, but some of our plans what's called a PHCS network, which means, like on the dental side, doctors belong to the Emeritus Network because they want new customers.
Right.
There are hospitals, facilities, a lot of them that belong to PHCS because they want you to come there because they won't charge you full price. So for our short-term medical, accident, or like our limited med or core health, it's important if you're going to have a procedure, to call me. Let's look at the link to find out if your doctor's in that network.
Right.
An emergency is an emergency, but if you're going to schedule something And I use the example, it relates back to dental. I was sitting in the chair and he said, I've got time. We could take care of your crown right now. I go, well, how much is my insurance going to pay? Well, they'll tell you. I said, well, I'd rather know before you do it.
Right.
Yeah. Of course they're going to tell me.
Yeah.
I sensed he wanted to. I said, that's pretty slick. You got me in the chair. We can get this done. But I said, I'll tell you what, I'm willing to pay $200. Anything over that, you cover the rest. He goes, I'll make another appointment for you, Greg. That's how that went.
Right. So, well played, sir.
Yeah. The older I get, my filters tend to disappear. So
these people will tell you I've got no filter anymore. Yeah. I really struggle just to stay PG because broken, whatever.
So the networks are important. You just said something, Troy. You had to do a little homework. Right. That it didn't call. You have to do a little work. In anything in life, if you don't do any work on it, it's just going to be handed to you.
Right. And you're just going to take what they give you. Might not be what you want or need.
Right.
Yep.
And it's so scary how little I know about these subjects. And again, it's like I'm a grown child. I never had to step out and into that whole marketplace.
Well, but isn't that's part of what we teach people in our coachings and things like that is you don't have to find an expert.
Right.
You want to know how to shop for fuel? I'll teach you how to shop for fuel. You want to know how to get a truck? I could tell you how to get a truck. If it's about insurance, I've got Greg and Tony, depending on what kind of insurance we're talking about.
Right.
You want to talk about accounting and retirement plans? I got a guy for that.
Right.
That's a lot smarter than me about that. Has an actual license to tell people things,
You'll find info on our accounting preference down there at the bottom. Trucker CFO 800-533-4230. How cool is that? I'm just playing. Sorry, I apologize.
And you call Greg for knowledge on all your fuel cards. Just kidding.
Right. It'll be great. I'm going to put your number up. You want to know anything about fuel, call Greg. Yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah. We're going to cut that into a short, put it up on the YouTubes. It'll be fun.
Transfer you to Jeff and Charley. Speed dial.
That's right.
That goes for you too, Jeff.
I got a minor technical issue. I'll be right back. Jeff, have fun. I'll be right back.
Okay. So, Reese,
sir,
we are actually watching you guys very closely right now because there are several Contractors Corner members that are applying to the Path to Ownership program.
That's pretty
exciting.
Just
be aware. We're watching you.
I'm not worried about anything.
I know you're not. So far, it's there's been a couple of little road bumps, but nothing that is like a deal killer or anything like that.
Sure.
We're just kind of excited to watch the process.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely different. It's an outside the box solution. So which really is what our whole company kind of does is outside the box. So everything, if you think about it, most companies are pursuing their customers from the top down, right? So they're trying to go after the Swifts of the world, and they're trying to get in front of the VPs and the CEOs and the CFOs and convince them all your drivers need to be on this. Our entire business model actually flips the script. So everything is, look, this has got to be the absolute best for the driver. The driver needs to make that choice. And we're going to pass 100% of whatever savings it is to the driver, no matter what the situation is. So, when you look at it from the other side, it's if you provide this to your drivers, then they'll get this, and you can keep this, or we'll give you this, or so it's just it's a way to just really approach the industry in a different light.
Yeah,
and it's working. So
Life on 18 Wheels. What is this path to ownership program?
I was just going to
That's
hit
a
that.
great question. And so, Jeff, we could talk about it a little bit, but I would prefer to get the people that actually do that program on the show
I would love
to
that.
fully explain it.
Mhm.
It's basically a path to lease a truck and actually own it at the end.
Hey, you stop.
And
Let the smart guy talk.
why are you talking?
That's you,
then, Charlie?
Reese.
Oh. No, well, I mean, Jeff was exactly right. So it's a non-traditional way of to lease a truck to be able to own at the end. And it goes outside of just your standard requirements. So, path to ownership allows you to rent a truck for a certain amount of time, prove that you can run a good business, profitable business, and then from there we can, we'll take that risk and lease a truck to you. So, and the benefit to that too is you also get the additional products and services. So you get a service coordinator. You get the relationship with our motor carriers. You get accounting. You get get the discount program, all that stuff. So it's it's kind of a one-stop shop. So
It's very
that's
cool.
in a nutshell, and oversimplifying it. That's what it is.
I mean, in a nutshell.
So you said one
bad.
thing there, Jeff, that is so, I'm sorry, doggone unique.
Such
And that's
harsh
that-
words.
I know, it's such harsh words. You rent a truck first, and you're going to decide if you want to take the risk on that person.
Mhm.
So many of these carriers, and you know that we love Swift. We've made a lot of money at Swift. We have some great people that we work with. But let's be real. Most of these lease purchase programs at the mega carriers, hey, can you fog this mirror? All right. You've been driving for 6 months. All right. Here's your truck. No prep. No. Most of them don't even do any kind of orientation anymore for owner operators.
Right.
They have this cookie cutter approach. Yeah, we have trucks. You want one? Okay, sign here. They don't know if the guy's ever been in business before. They don't know if the guy. I'm going to be a little harsher. They don't know if the guy knows what 2 + 2 is,
It's true.
and they're going to lease this guy a $200,000 asset.
With a 56-page contract that they will not read. They're just going to initial all the spots and sign.
And then let's just be real. Then they wonder why that truck comes back 6 months later, not paid for.
And destroyed.
And
Just
I've talked
destroyed.
to I talked to some people at the expo that had to actually go through your rental portion of it
Expedite Expo.
several times before they leased that first truck. And what they told us was, yeah, man, I just kept doing it because they were teaching me what I was doing wrong.
Right.
And that's
Get
part
me
of
to
it.
that
Yeah.
point where I could actually be successful and not lose everything. And that is nobody does that. I have not seen any other, you guys aren't a carrier, but I've never seen any of the carriers do that. That's for sure. You go out there. I'm part of this group that shall remain nameless, but I enjoy messing with them
Oh my God.
quite a bit. I actually send screenshots of their Facebook stuff to Charlie, and we laugh at it.
It's hilarious.
You got people out there that go get their CDL and then buy a truck for 50 grand from their uncle and go get their own numbers, get a trailer. Somehow they got insured, but then, well, why won't brokers give me a load?
Especially,
I don't know.
I need at least $6 a mile.
Yeah, and why am I only getting $1.50 freight? I heard guys are getting $2-3. Well, maybe it's because you've been a driver for 20 minutes and you opened your business 5 minutes ago. Maybe that has something to do with it. But the program you have, you insulate both yourself and the potential business owner from that kind of just going bankrupt, losing everything scenario. And we think that's amazing.
And we have
Is it
several
for
people in
everyone?
the system now. Just saying.
Is it for everyone? No.
No.
But what product, what service is?
Right.
Exactly.
And so far I can tell you, Mr. Reese, the folks that we have that are probing and joining and now in your, we have people now in at least 4 or 5 different levels of the entire process, and I haven't heard a bad thing yet. Well,
And you actually like interview them,
right?
So we have
Crazy
a
talk.
team in particular that had to go into the rental truck. We have another team that walked right into the lease. Why? Because her and her husband were successful at another carrier, and you guys saw that and said, "Oh, yeah, that's not a lot of risk. You guys have done this before. You're just switching horses."
Right. Just makes sense. You know, the business savvy side was there. They had a history of good stuff in the past, and it makes sense, right? You know,
Yep. And that happens sometimes. Absolutely. It definitely does.
That amazed me. Like I was like, wait, what? Really?
Yeah.
What? That's cool. Because I didn't even know that was a thing. But as these people go through it, and you know, our buddy Craig there is in the initial stages. He's doing a lot of talking with your folks, you know, and he's trying to make that transition as a solo, and we're having some tough conversations with him. We're getting a lot of information out of him on it, you know, as far as how the process is going, and then we're breaking down raw numbers, right? You know, well, this could be a tough thing for you as a solo. You know, you are really going to have to bust your tail, things like that. But you know, the support, the conversations, you know, we're trying to support people as best we can, you know, and getting deeper into the numbers of it and the real nuts and bolts. People are like, hey man, I think I think he's really close to pulling that trigger. I'm not going to speak for him, but you know, I foresee a jump coming. Oh, there you go. Look at this. Craig Hudson. I'm excited, you know, and Craig's a smart cookie. I mean, the guy knows his numbers. He is a solid operator. I mean, truly.
Well, this is just to let you know, and if it greases the wheels for him, I'm glad. But you know, you guys do you. So this is a guy that ran Swift's percentage program up in the Northeast for a long time, and then you know how the rates have gone.
And was one of their top performers.
He was one of their top performers, and it got to a point where he was talking to us and running numbers with us. He decided, well, you know, percentage is not paying what I could make just regular OTR drive-in. So he did that for a while, ran the numbers again over, what was it, like 4 or 5 months, maybe 3 or 4 months, and decided, well, what else can I do? So he switched to reefer because it looked like a better opportunity to him. The dude runs his numbers, and he makes moves based solely on the numbers.
That's, you know, that's what's called being a business owner.
What?
I mean, he's not just driving. He's analyzing. He's, you know, he's trying to make the best business decision for his company, which ultimately ends up being the best decision for himself and his family.
Yeah.
You know, we tell people, look, you know, if you take care of the business is going to take care of you.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, you know, and then it brings us back to the whole community thing. You know, get people around you, build a team, build relationships. You know, and Jeff and I have been real big on the community and team building and relationship building and these things. And people are like, God, will you guys ever shut up? No, nope, not gonna. Yeah. Good luck. Yeah. You could hit me in the mouth. You ain't gonna break my teeth. What? I already beat you. I'm just saying.
So
go ahead.
So now that everybody's back, so
right.
Greg, when people call you, is there anything that they need to be prepared to answer?
Yes, actually, if you schedule a call with me, you have to fill out certain things that helps me prepare for the driver. One is I need to know the zip code that you live in, because every products are specific to zip code. Your full name. I need your date of birth, your email address, your phone number. And then there's a section in there, tell me something that would more inform me for our call. And a driver will type something in there. So then I have and it takes a few seconds. I usually put together a quote, I shoot them an email, I put a note in there saying this is a preparation for our 10 o'clock call tomorrow. The ES drivers are very prompt, and if they miss it, they call me back and apologize. And I joke around, I said, no, when you apologize now, you know you have to buy something.
Right. I'm going to buy that free 2 months of telehealth plans.
There you go.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah. No, we talk with our partner, and we have data. We're good business people too. We said if you pay for this for the first 2 months and they use it, they'll keep it.
Right.
Not only will they keep it, they'll like it and they'll love you more.
Exactly.
So it's how do you bring value, to build trust to where if something does happen, then they call.
Right.
They'll call and ask, what can we do? So
yeah. And I would encourage people, especially to look at telehealth. Y'all are burning up the roads, and especially with cold and flu season right here upon us.
New
try it
strain
out.
of COVID right now.
So yeah, I mean it's out there. So, but yeah, I mean try two free months of it. We got you covered. But it's so affordable, and it makes it so much more convenient, and it can save you so much money. If you do need to talk to a doctor, instead of going to urgent care or the ER, I just want to encourage everybody to take a look at it, see if it makes sense for you, because I think it should make sense for quite a few of you.
Yep. And one more thing too, real quick, because this is something that my wife Donna brought up. So I don't get sick that often, Greg. So we haven't had to test out our insurance. But I run all
That's
lower
good.
48 states.
Yeah.
What if I got hurt or sick out on the road? We don't even know how that would go down with our insurance.
Right.
Are there certain service offerings that you give depending on, is the guy regional, is he OTR, is he only, is he interstate? Does that come into what you're going to offer us?
It does. I'd say secondary. It's their own unique situation. Do you have a family? Do you have anything now? Are you on any medications? What's your health risks? They have to be comfortable talking to me, knowing with HIPAA compliance, it goes nowhere. It goes between the two of us.
Right.
What you want to share with me is how I advise. Did I see Mr. Knight on there ask a question? I think I talked with him.
Yeah, what he
Shambi?
said was,
TK?
Greg will call you and have a real conversation with you. I like that.
Okay, so I did talk with Mr. Knight. He was, very polite.
So
Actually, I have a funny story to talk about Mr. Knight. He called me in the car.
Here we go.
You're going to laugh here, Mr. Knight. You know what I'm going to say. And this is just how transparent, and I call it straightforward communication. And he was talking to me, and I talked to a lot of drivers, and we were heading up to the North Woods, but I wanted to call him back. He wanted to talk, and he told me about this, and I asked him a question that I'd asked him before. He said, well, Greg, you've already asked me that question. We talked about that.
Good.
I said, well, Mr. Knight, I'm going to be 66 in November. I played the Alzheimer card.
Right.
Short-term memory loss.
I dig it.
He says, maybe you should get a little something for yourself there, Greg.
That sounds exactly like it.
Pick up a company perk or something.
Right. Yeah,
So
we call him TK.
So
and
TK,
we like the guy.
TK,
Jeff knows this, but TK was one of my last students as a mentor when I was mentoring. And then he became an owner operator, even though I told him not to. So he wouldn't call me for advice after that, because I'm dad, apparently. He called Charley.
Right.
Charlie's like, do you know this TK guy? I'm like, please tell me he didn't lease a truck. He's like, he did. I'm like, okay, we need to help him now. And we've been helping him ever since.
Yeah, he's a good guy. I like that guy. TK is
I think
awesome.
Mr. Knight bought a telehealth plan at a minimum, and then has some other things we're talking about, and that's the good thing. You build many relationships that hopefully turn. See, we're already talking again, Mr. Knight. So we're not far away from our communication here, and I don't sell the drivers anything.
Right. No, and see that's what I like about it. You know what? You lay out the offering, right? It's there. Pick the parts you need.
Yep.
It's like that with you guys. It's like that with the services offered by Jeff Reese and ES. It's like that with our trucking insurance through Seabright. It's that way with Trucker CFO for our accounting, right? Get what you need. Not all the extra crap that you're never going to use. Not all this stuff that makes no sense for you to have. But get what you need. Get what's going to get you to a point where you can make these decisions and do the hard adulting. Because
I hate
adulting's
that,
hard.
Math
is hard. Words are hard. I don't know. So yeah. Hey, Jeff Reese, I know Mrs. Reese is going to be coming at me with a baseball bat in the fairly near future. Please tell her it wasn't my fault. It's all Morton's fault.
So Reese, when we're going to be down there meeting with y'all for a couple of days, I'll let you know exactly what dates they are, so Mrs. Reese can show up, and I can say, "That's the guy. That's the guy you want."
Don't do
I
that.
had nothing to do with it.
You know what?
This is why I get home after 7.
And this is why we're done with that guy right there. We're just done with him. He's out.
In the corner.
That's right. This is the Charley show now, y'all, and we're just gonna talk around that guy and forget. Oh wait, he's back. Damn it, I forget he's got buttons too.
We, in case you don't know, Greg, we put each other in timeout all the time.
Yeah, I spend a lot of time there.
And here I thought this would have been boring. I go, Jeff, can you give me any insight? He goes, just be on the call, Greg.
Right? Good job, Reese.
Just be on the call. It'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Reese, you are the man. I love it. You're just like, ha, sucker. He's going to learn some stuff now.
But better than I expected. I've been on far worse.
Well, that's good.
It's good to hear.
Yeah, this is actually fun.
I dig it. Well, you know what I think we'll do? I think we're going to cut you both loose because we do appreciate your time, and I don't want to eat up too much of it. And just so you know, Greg, and just like Reese knows, anytime you got some changes coming up or something like that, you want to get it out to folks and let them know. Reach out to us. Look, we can just watch this. I can just be like, we don't even need that guy right there. We can just throw you up, and we don't even have to bring him around. It's fun. Oh God, now I'm confused. I can't have that layout. That messed me up. I didn't even know what to do there.
My closing statement would be: if Mrs. Reese can swing a baseball bat, you should see Mrs. Helmick swing one, because people ask me when I'm going to retire, and if I were to get my wife down here right now, and if you were to ask her when's Greg going to retire or what's he going to do when he retires, he's doing it right now. So I'm not going anywhere.
Look, I tried to retire once, and my wife's like, "You need to get a job, man, because I'm tired of you." I was raising pigs and goats and chickens and trying to grow a garden and all. She's like, "Get out of the house."
Yep.
True, just true. So both of you, Greg Helmick, Jeff Reese, to go check out the offerings. It's go to eshealthplans.com. Let me throw it up on the screen right there. eshealthplans.com. And you're going to fill out the little information thing, and you can reach out there to 833-907-3033. I had to back up from my own screen. Told you need new glasses again already. And you'll schedule a call with Greg, and you're going to talk to that guy, and he's going to tell you some stuff. And look, hey, let him know that you heard about it here. I'm just saying, you mention us. We're like, we like knowing people knowing, hey, those crazy bastards on Contractor's Corner are doing something. I don't know what the hell
you're going to get the donkey thing again. You know that?
Oh God. My bad. Quick story. Greg, we did a podcast with Jeff Reese, and I dropped the words jackass and And it was the most amazing thing because when Jeff Morton and I actually heard the podcast afterwards, the most well-placed donkey sound was inserted there, and it just that made the whole dang show for me.
It is a funny sound.
So every time I say jackass, you'll get one of those with me because I just flash back to it. But you know what? Let me stop talking. Well, I'm not going to stop talking. It's impossible. But let me say thank you to both of you. I do appreciate your time, and I hope that many people, our tens and tens of viewers, take the time to go check out the offerings and make a decision, have the discussion, like we tell them to do. Have the discussion, run the numbers, see if it makes sense for you. Is this something that's going to work for you, your family, your spouse? I don't know, whatever you got going on. I'm not judging dynamics. You guys do you, man. And but have the conversation, and maybe it's not right for you right this minute. And from what I'm hearing, Greg will say, hey man, I don't think this is going to be right for you. Maybe down the road there's a different offering. So stay tuned, and when things change, Greg's going to come on here, and Reese will probably throw stuff at us. He'd be like, hey, jerks, we got stuff. You said something wrong again. It's happened. I don't know. Yeah, it's funny. Morton got yelled at by Trucker CFO one time because he was completely wrong about something, and he blowing up a text. They can't say that, you big dummy. So we love it. You know, if we ever, and we will put the contact info up in the show notes afterwards. And I'm going to build a little banner across the bottom that's going to be scrolling like the one for CFO right there. I didn't do it. I apologize. I didn't make one before the show because I'm a little scatterbrained lately. But thank you, gentlemen. I greatly appreciate it. Jeff Morton, you got anything you want to say, these fine gentlemen?
Nope.
Lord knows they're smarter than
covered
we
it. Yeah, well,
look, I'm hiding behind the thing, Jeff. What? I'm just
I don't need to be smart. I surround myself with smart people.
Exactly. Build a team,
there
grow
it
the
is.
community. All right, you guys, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Really,
Jeff and Charlie.
we appreciate
Thank
you
you,
guys.
everybody.
You too, Reese.
All right.
Have a
Thank you,
good one.
Greg.
That
Yeah,
See
guy.
ya.
Bye-bye.
So there you go.
All right.
We talked medical insurance stuff, and I dig it, man.
Oh man.
Like there is some cool stuff going on there, and I'm not just saying that. Look, this is again something that we're getting nothing out of other than it just is what it is. It's a product that was brought to us and said, "Hey, check this out," and we're like, "Man, this is phenomenal."
Yeah.
You know,
Well, it's guys, it's we kind of stumbled onto ES Advantage because of the fuel card. But this is a good example of when we tell you guys build those relationships. This is 2 years in the making, and we've been able to bring a better accountant, better insurance, now health insurance, the fuel card. I mean, all from just that one relationship.
look at TK just said, "Okay, Greg, I'll take a full plan now." There you go.
Hey, it's out there. The internet's forever.
LB the trucker said, "Thank you all for the information. I'm leaving this live way more informed than I came in. Greg, I've already filled out an online form and still looking into ES Advantage." So I mean, look, and thank you for that. I love that feedback. We need the feedback from you guys. If we're putting out information that purely doesn't interest you, let us know what you are interested in.
Yeah.
If we're doing stuff that you do like, look, it helps us. We know to do more of that type of stuff. We need you guys, the community, because it's not a buzzword to us. It really isn't. It really is what we're trying to build here for you guys. We want to have a place, and it's not just for Swift. It's not just for this or that, right? We're here for you guys, contractors, those who would like to get into it, those who want more information on, is that something for me? What do you guys think? And we can talk to you about not just Swift, but a lot of other options because we've been learning so much.
And it's yes, we are leased to Swift ourselves, but if you were to schedule a consult with us through our website or whatever, and ask, hey, I'd like to get into the business. Maybe Swift's a good fit for you. Maybe it's not. We will have more than just that to discuss.
Right.
Maybe you have some business
Excuse me.
experience already. So, Swift there's a place for Swift. and then there's a place for, say, a Landstar. There's a place for ES Success in Trucking. I mean, we're going to get into what are your goals,
Right.
and we're gonna help you. We're not going to tell you go here or go there. We're going to help you figure out which carrier best fits what your big purpose is, what you're trying to accomplish in the next 5 to 10 years.
And you can plan on one of the first questions you will hear out of either one of us. Jeff, drop it on him. Bam.
Why? Why do you want to be a contractor?
Right.
I mean, that's huge. And
There's
you know,
no right answer.
And I'm probably going to run you even deeper than that because I've been learning some stuff that's driving Charley nuts. But I'm learning some stuff.
Fun. Jeff is learning a lot, and he's like, "You're learning this too." I'm like, "Ouch."
So I even started doing it with my wife the other day. She's like,
"Hey, calm down, family show."
She's like, man. she I can't even remember what it was right now, but I was like, "Well, why is that important to you?" And she answered, I'm like, "Okay, so why is that important to you?" And after about the third time of me asking that, she's like, "I know what you're doing. You took that class." I'm like,
"Right,
yeah, but it works."
You unsalted trucker her.
I did.
I dig it, man. I look, and that's awesome.
So I wanted to do a thing because I actually went and checked this out. I'm going to put it up to this. I'm going to add to the stream here.
Look at that.
So Pod Wheels, powered by Radio Nemo. This is a project that Jimmy Mack told us about when we were on his show and we were hanging out on the red couch. There wasn't a green room, but there was a red couch.
Right.
With him.
That's a comfortable couch too.
This is a podcast network just full of trucking stuff. It's still in its infancy, but I'm kind of digging it. Charley,
make it bigger. Oh, it won't go bigger. Dang it.
Nah, sorry about that, eh?
You need to learn how to do stuff.
So Trucker CFO actually has his own podcast on there. They got some Jimmy Mack, you talk to him about anything, but get him talking about two things: sports and music. This guy could literally tell you which album, which side of the album, and which track just about any song is. This guy.
Right. And tell you every stat about every sport ever played.
Yes. So he's got that. The one I just finished listening to all of them was the Snake Pontchartrain podcast, and I enjoyed it. It's hokey, it's cheesy, but it's a good listen.
Don't get mad at me, do a thing.
Just think of Big Trouble in Little China, but in a 10-minute episode each podcast.
Right.
It's pretty fun. But yeah, and their plan is to grow this and actually have a dedicated app for their platform and add more stuff to it. But this is all, if you guys are familiar with Radio Nemo, Nemo's retired now, and he passed the torch to Jimmy Mack. And this is his baby. He wants to bring stuff that we truckers are interested in right there in the podcast arena. And
Nemo's not retired. You better stop.
I thought he was.
No, that man is still that man is still on the radio, sir. You ain't listening at the right time.
I guess not.
You better stop it.
I'm gonna get slapped now.
You're gonna get beat up by Nemo himself, and I'm gonna video that, and we're gonna put it online.
Hey, that could go viral, man.
For real, we get some.
We're all about viral now.
I bet we get at least 30 views for that.
So the Radio Nemo guys. And I didn't know this, Charley, but Radio Nemo is like a legitimate brand. The man has taken his name and it's a freaking company.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's part of the expression, but balls out company.
Right.
And they're just doing some amazing things with that brand. And so Jimmy told us about this, and you know how it is. You hear about, oh yeah, that's nice, Jimmy, and then it took me a month to actually go look it up.
Right, because we are so on top of things.
But I've been spending a lot of time on podcasts lately, Charley.
Right,
and to have trucker specific ones, like you can go on Spotify or whatever and find these.
Right,
but they're all just right here.
Right.
In fact, if you click on one, it'll probably shove you to Spotify.
Let's
or
see,
your
let's
Apple
see.
Podcasts or
Do this.
whatever.
Trucker CFO, where'd it go? Look at that, all episodes right here. I'm just saying. I don't know. Seems pretty awesome to me.
Yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I took control of the screen, Jeff. You're welcome.
Yeah.
Hey,
So,
yours
yeah.
is looking large now. Watch, let's throw yours back up. Nope, still small. What the heck? I don't understand.
It's probably because it's only on half my screen.
Oh,
try it.
Gotcha.
Let's try this. Put it back up.
Gotcha.
Did that do anything?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? Watch this. Hit F11.
Hit F11.
I'm gonna teach you something. Hides all your tabs at the top. Just saying.
Oh, okay.
That's considered full screen mode. You got that crazy. What you call it? I can't think of the words. Resolution, because of that giant monitor you got. He's got an ultra wide monitor, so it looks odd when it transitions. And our format here is actually 1080, so his monitor doesn't transition onto the screen right. Just saying.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
Well, what's nice, if you guys ever geek out for a second, Charlie, what's nice about this monitor, though, because I got the biggest monitor, ultra wide screen I could that would fit in the truck without me like bumping it every time I went to bed.
Yeah.
And what's nice is when I do the split screen like I have now, it's like two, like the old monitors you're used to.
Right.
It's like two of those sitting in front of me without having to have two monitors. So it's really nice.
It's what 16:9 becomes 16:18, something weird like that. It's some weird. I don't know. There's geek numbers there. Whatever. But yeah, it's very cool. But we are starting to really start to look more into this stuff, and I dig it, man.
Yeah.
And I just love listening to stuff. I mean, that's what I do most of the day. If I'm not on the phone, I'm listening to something, whether it's an audio book, a podcast, something.
Oh man, I've gone way down the rabbit hole on Spotify, man.
Nice.
Like I'll be listening to one podcast, and they're all business podcasts that I'm listening to.
Right.
And then like the podcast will have this guest. He's like, "Yeah, I have a podcast too." I'm like, "Let's go check that one out." So now I've got this list of like 30 podcasters now that are on my little Spotify lists.
Right.
Everywhere from mindfulness to accounting to brand building, all sorts of stuff.
Right.
Spotify's great.
So yeah,
I know the
podwheels.com.
I know the young people are like, Spotify, that's so 2000s or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Whatever. It works, man. I dig it. Excuse me. And
I don't even know, man. Technology is growing so quickly now. It's like whenever you probably experience this too, Charlie. I think I'm finding something new, but it's like 2 generations ago.
Right. Hey, bro, check out this new thing. And everybody's like, bro, that's like from 2007. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
It's new to me. It's awesome. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I got 3G phone service now. I don't even know what you're talking about. This is great.
You remember when we went from 3G to 4G? I was scared to change because I didn't want to be using that much bandwidth, because that was back when you only got like 5 gigs.
Right. And then they jump to 5. You're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But yeah, so you can go to podwheels.com, check out what they got there. It's kind of they really have some cool stuff, seriously. And maybe someday we can get a Contractor's Corner podcast going. That's one of our things. I really want to do that someday. We got to get a podcast.
Yeah, it would be great.
Then they don't have to look at our faces.
Yeah.
Because this face right here, I'm going to do this. Pow. Love that face. People are like, that dude's cool. But then they see this one and they're like, oh, what happened? Oh my God, make it go away. And I'm like, okay, it's cool.
So yeah, I'm kind of on I have a conundrum, Charlie.
Uh-oh.
So I've been doing the Instagram thing lately. I've only got like 9 videos up so far, but I'm working that right now. I think I actually look a little bit better with that kind of just past the 5 o'clock shadow.
Right.
Thing is, it drives me nuts.
Oh, I can dig it.
Like, but
right.
on the small screen, especially Instagram format, it looks kind of good.
What's this Instagram? I mean? Is this like a new thing, Instagram, that you're talking about? I'll have to check it out, bro. Is it like Instagram.com or something like that? Is it like the new YouTube or something? I don't even know. Like,
That's where all your reels come from on Facebook.
what?
Yeah, Meta
No,
owns it.
that what?
Meta
You
owns
better
Instagram.
no, that's crazy. Reels is right there, bro. It's what I spend 19 hours a day because I clicked on that one damn cat video. Oh,
Yeah,
what
I've
a
been
rabbit hole.
I'm gonna change how I'm doing it, but because I'm new to the whole trying to do shorts thing, the Instagram app has the ability for you to set a timer and it just cuts you off at a minute.
Oh, nice.
So it's like, oh, well, that was a minute. Okay.
What am I gonna do with a minute?
Well, that's how you go. That's how people lose interest after a minute. That's the whole point of doing the
Squirrel.
shorts.
What?
See,
What
you
were you
didn't even
saying?
last it. You did not even last a minute into that conversation, Charlie.
What were you? Huh? Ha! See what I did there? I played along. What?
Oh my goodness. So yeah, I'm doing the Instagram thing now. If you guys want to check me out, I am the Unsalted Trucker on Instagram. Drop the though because I haven't changed my name yet. Just the handle is Unsalted Trucker. I only have a couple videos up, and we're trying to get Rosie to consent to doing the same sort of thing with Charlie, kind of that slice of life type little short videos.
Right.
Like I did one the other day that was rock climbing during your break. What? And
Nice.
it was that rest area in Arizona with all the big boulders and stuff. And the signs that used to say don't climb on the rocks are no longer there.
Interesting.
So it could just be vandalism though, because the sign holders are still there. I don't know. I'm too old to be climbing on rocks, but I thought that was kind of I like that rest area a lot.
Right. Hey, LB's got a question for you there, Jeff. I'm going to pull your screen down.
Why don't you answer that question, Charlie?
Well, there are several ways you can go about that. So look, here's the reality of it. We have a thing. We have a private community. We have a private Facebook group that's free if you're a Swift contractor, and we can verify you're a Swift contractor. You can get in there and talk to us and get a lot of input from a lot of people. We do have a private community. It is a paid community. Here's the reality. People are paying us to be there, so they are the top priority for us. You know, it's just reality. That's just how it has to happen. But you can go to contractorscorner.cc and you will find a link there that talks about our private community and ways to sign up and to get in there. Or you could reach out to us individually if you want to discuss things a little bit further with us. You could reach out to Jeffrey Morton on the Facebooks. It's not Jeff Morton, it's Jeffrey Morton on the Facebooks, and I am Charley Mahon, Mahon. I'll type it in the chat for you. I almost forgot how to spell my name right there. True story just happened. I got stuck on the EY because I'm not a smart man. So I'm going to put it in the chat. You can do a search for that dude right there, Charley Mahon, in the Facebooks, and send me a PM or a friend request, and we can try and set something up, and we will work definitely with people. Oh, well, cool. Reach out to us. He says he is a member of the Facebooks, and he is a Swift contractor. So yeah, reach out to us there, man. And we can definitely talk more with you, a little more in depth. Yeah, we'll set something up and see what we can work out for you. Yeah, we love going over numbers. Jeff, look, Jeff is better at going over numbers with people because he has focus. I am a very broad speaking person, right? Because of the squirrels that get me. And you may call me about, hey, I'd like to look at my P&L, and we will end up talking about, what do your tires feel like, bro?
Or even better yet, how big was that fish again?
Exactly.
I mean, you know,
it's true.
I will call Charlie with an absolute business agenda in the first hour because we talk all the time because we become great friends for some damn reason I don't understand.
Dude,
and we'll end up talking about the kids and the flood and the this and the that. Oh, by the way, I called about this thing.
I have a new grandbaby coming. Sorry. Fresh news last night. New grandbaby number 4 on the way. Whoop whoop. Sorry, I'm done.
Yes.
I'm gonna get in trouble for that, I'm sure. Damn it.
Yeah, and as we evolve some of our other stuff we're working on, we'll get more information out about that. We'll have new email addresses for you guys to get a hold of us. We'll have a newsletter. We'll have more course material going up. And the reason for the delay, for those of you that are already part of the paid network, the reason for the delay on that is we think we can do better for you. And I'm going through some education right now to try and do better for you on that.
My
and
have didn't help.
Yeah, well, health issues. I mean, there's absolutely nothing we could do about that. And let's be real. The reason you guys that are paying us is because it's Jeff and Charlie, not just Jeff, not just Charlie.
Right.
And to try and do that by ourselves, we would lose half the dynamic. And I mean, let's be real, Charlie. Basically, I have half the information, you have the other half, because that's the way we work.
We come
neither one of us
in synergy.
Neither one of us really has 100% of the answers. We see things differently, and as a result, when you ask us questions, I'll answer it one way, and Charlie has a totally different thought, and chances are one of us has the answer you were looking for.
Right.
So that's kind of that's kind of our dynamic, And so trying to do a class or something all on our lonesome. First of all, I think it would be kind of boring.
Right. Nobody wants to see me by myself. They want to see Jeff put me in timeout, because if Charlie's not getting. Oh, look,
that was not me.
I just like that was fun.
Yeah.
You see what I did there?
You're trying to make people hate me again.
Well, I kind of like being the likable guy, and you're the big mean bad guy.
Oh.
It's funny. So those of you who are newer, like, people used to be like, why is Jeff so cranky? You don't understand. Like, Jeff is smiling right this minute. Like, that is a grin if there ever was one. You just don't. And look, oh my God, that was a real whole like face smile. But at the start, Jeff was much more stone faced. It's just how Jeff was. I mean, he was not angry. He wasn't mad.
This whole being on camera thing was so uncomfortable for me. At first, remember when we put Alan on for the first time?
Yes, much fun.
Yes,
that guy will talk your ear off in person. We hit go live, and he's like, "Yep,
yeah." So we're coming up on a few minutes left in the show. Let's talk about the charity drive real quick.
Yep.
We are, again, for those of you that haven't heard, haven't had us knock you upside the head with it, whatever, stuff. We are doing a charity drive for Swift Charities and Children's Miracle Network. And we are bound and determined that someone at Contractor's Corner that is in Phoenix on the 15th is going to be the one to cut Jordan's hair. I'm just saying. It's got to be one of us. It won't be Charlie or I. We're managing the thing, and we're covering the cost of the admin side of it 100%. So that's the thing, is 100% of the money that you guys donate is going to go to the Swift Charities / Children's Miracle Network. And
it's
what they're doing is they're splitting it 50-50 between the two actual charities. And Children's Miracle Network especially is really close to both Charlie and mine's heart. So we're trying to raise as much money as we can for them. We do have a commitment from Trucker CFO to match up to $750 of what we raise. And I haven't checked today, Charlie, but I think we're getting pretty close to that $750.
Yep, we're right around 600, and I can tell you that right this minute we will break 750.
Yes,
without a doubt. I know for a fact, because I already know it. I'm actually planning on dropping a little bit, not much, but what I can do, and I can promise it will be over 750.
Yes. Okay.
Our personal goal was, what was it? 1,000, 2,000, 1,000, 2,000.
2,000 was the original goal.
I can't remember. And so, yeah. So we look, and if you're a Swift contractor and you donate $20, You go right there to contractorscorner.cc, and right at the top of the page, you're going to find the Shave Jordan's Head, Children's Miracle Network Swift Charities link. Go there, donate $20. Maybe put in the note that you're a Swift contractor. Those of you who have already done it, don't worry about it because we know you guys. If you're one of the newer Swift contractors that we don't, maybe we don't know your name so well, put a note in there that says, hey, I'm a Swift contractor. And if you are truly actually a Swift contractor, they're going to put you in a drawing for a free set of steer tires that will be available to you in the Swift network.
Yep.
So your next set of steers could be free, and all you had to do was donate $20 to Children's Miracle Network and Swift Charities.
There you go.
I think that's pretty cool. And that was something that the Swift shops and the parts guys stepped up to do. Something Jordan is doing, got them to do, or through a discussion he had with them, and they got that set up, and that's pretty awesome. So yeah, definitely go check it out.
You know what he did? He went to the shop steward there in Phoenix with that beautiful beard and just stared at him.
Showed him his movie.
Yeah.
Said, "Look, I will punch you in the face like this right here."
Yes.
Maybe, I don't know. It could happen.
Yeah.
Maybe a rumor started. Maybe we started.
And the other thing we're doing for Driver Appreciation Week is we're going to have a workshop that's primarily geared towards people that are not yet Swift contractors that are thinking about pulling the trigger but aren't quite sure yet. Absolutely, if you're there and you want to attend that workshop, we'll be talking about how Charley and I have made our money over the last 17 years,
right?
And how we were able to use leverage Swift and the leasing program to get to where we are now. It just real talk about the numbers and
yeah, we ain't trying to sell you a truck.
And getting people to understand that this is a business. You cannot just go out and hold the steering wheel like a company driver. You got to do some math every day. You got to really watch your stuff, and how can you be successful at Swift specifically?
Right.
And we'll be doing that tentatively. It's looking like we'll do it Tuesday. I got word from the owner operator division that we could actually use their conference room anytime we want. Cool. So if there's enough demand for it, we might do more than one. Just keep in mind though that while we do this, we are going to be videoing the whole thing, and we will be using that for stuff.
Right.
So if you
it's probably going to be in our private community. Just throwing it out there.
Yep. So there you go. And that's Driver Appreciation Week is next week. If you ever wanted to meet my wife, Donna, I know that she's just there in the background most of the time, but she does an awful lot for us, that lady. She will. I am actually flying her down for the week. We rented an Airbnb house in Goodyear, and she will be there all week helping us with talking to you guys and taking pictures and all that neat stuff. So,
by the way, just going to throw it out there to put a little pressure on myself. This cigar right here, as of right this moment, this is the last cigar that I possess, that I actually have in my possession. It is my intention to wake up tomorrow morning and not have another one. I'm not making a promise, but that is what I'm working on. I might be a bit of a...
Okay, let me see here. This is attempt number 265 since I met you.
Yes. But I thought I would throw it out there in the ether, right? And maybe it'll help me focus, because my health. We all need to worry about this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, when I quit actually smoking, that's what it was for me. I found myself getting winded going upstairs to the bedroom.
Right. I can tell you that while I've been smoking cigars, I don't have the lung problems that I had smoking cigarettes when I quit in 2008. Right. Mm-hmm. It is definitely a different product, but it is still something foreign into my body, blah, blah, blah. I get it. I'm not trying to say it's better, worse, whatever.
Well, Charlie, you know how I don't do anything half measure. I was smoking full menthols, man.
Oh, yeah, I couldn't do that. Hey, Jim, I appreciate it, man. I really want to look at. Oh, love you, Grandpa. pink eyes, heart shape. I can't see it on here, but that's a emoji. Hey, love you too, buddy. That's one of my grandchildren, I'm sure. Greg said I can do it. I'm gonna give it a shot, man. I'm really gonna give it a shot. So I might be a little cranky. Bear with me. I love you guys for the support. You guys, once again, I want to say thank you to everybody. All of you, the community, you, the viewers, our tens and tens of viewers. We appreciate every damn one of you. Smash
Tell your
my
friends.
hand. Tell your friends. Share the
Hit
channel.
that like.
It's right. Hit the thumbs, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Let people know. And you know what? You know what really helps us a lot? If you go in after the show, not during the live. We appreciate and we need the comments during the live because you guys help drive the conversation. Yeah. You know, I say it all the time. You guys drive us down the road you want to travel. And without you, we're just rambling and talking. But do us a favor. Go hit comments after the live is done. Ask questions, share your thoughts. Let us know what you want to see in the future, things like that, because those comments actually help us reach more people because of the weird algorithms and magic words that YouTube and those kind of people use. We need that kind of stuff to help promote us a little bit further out there in the world. So we need your help. Definitely think about if you can drop a couple bucks on the Swift Charities thing and the Children's Miracle Network. I'm going to say that, again, that is one of my favorite charities, and I just can't imagine having to need them myself. Luckily, I've not needed them, but I know that they're there should I ever need them. And I hope that you guys know the same thing.
Yeah, and, you know, the other thing, too, is if you're in the private Facebook group, or better yet, if you're in the paid community, let us know what you guys want to learn on the show.
Right.
You know, it's been pointed out to us, and we don't disagree. Hey, the show's kind of the same every week. Well, yeah, it's because it's driven by you guys. We answer your questions for 2 hours.
Right.
If there's something that you want that's different, let us know, and we will get that to you.
You want me to do the show shirtless? I might be open. What? That was a little too quick, Jeff.
There was no hesitation there, was there?
None whatsoever. I think that's a hard pass on Jeff's part. Hey, and we appreciate you, Craig. I almost called you Greg. That's funny. Greg. I got Greg on my mind. That guy was cool. And
we have two Gregs in our team now, so that makes it even better.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, nobody wants to see my man boobs, man.
Apparently nobody wants to see me shirtless at all. Whatever.
The people have spoken.
A minute ago. But no, seriously, we do appreciate the time you guys take out of your week. And so, yeah, let us know what you think. Go hit those comments, hit the thumbs. I mean, look, you can hit a thumb down for all I care, because you know what? It lets us know that maybe we're not doing something. Here's what I'm going to say. If you hit a thumbs down on us, tell me why you gave me a thumbs down.
Yep.
I don't think that's too much to ask. I'm not going to get mad at you. Look, I love data. I love input. I need your feedback, right? You know,
Absolutely.
We need your feedback. We need that, seriously. And so with that, you guys, we're just over 2 hours. We will be live in Phoenix next week for Driver Appreciation Week. We're going to try and do a live a day, I think is what we committed to.
At least
don't know how long. Yeah, we ain't doing a 2-hour show every day. We've got a lot lined up and a lot of people we'll be talking to. We've got quite a few interviews that we're working out. I think I have a pretty solid yes that I'm going to do a video with the Swift Shop in Phoenix, doing a bee service on my truck. I'm going to mic up one of their techs, and I'm going to follow them around with a camera and shoot everything I can. What are you doing? Ask questions, things like that. That'll be something that we record and put out later. We've got a discussion.
Kind of like the airbag video.
You shut up. We're going to be sitting down with Adam Miller and Jim Fitzsimmons, the president and COO of Swift Transportation, for a discussion with them that we're going to be putting out later on as well. We've got a lot of stuff lined up. I'm going to sit down. We're going to sit down with David Tillman and have a discussion with him. Really like having access to these folks. And Driver Appreciation Week in Phoenix. If you can get to Phoenix during Driver Appreciation Week, it's amazing because you can rub elbows with everyone from Adam Miller down.
Yep.
And sometimes above. Just saying,
Mhm.
throwing it out there. And these folks want to talk to us. They want to hear your opinions. Just like Jeff and I want to hear your opinions every Tuesday right here at 6 p.m. Eastern time. That's Jeff. I'm Charlie. This is Contractor's Corner, and we'll see you next week. Thank you guys so much. Seriously.